Joe Rogan and a lot of these other YouTube pseudo quasi-intellectuals are dangerous people. They're so lazy. They just say anything at this point. They have vast audiences, and many people, including some of you guys, are probably watch all sorts of people on YouTube and generally on the internet and think that you're learning something. You often may be getting totally wildly inaccurate basic information. I'm not talking about opinions. And what set me off on feeling the need to talk about this today is Joe Rogan, somehow that multi-level marketer, Patrick Bet-David, who thinks he's, well, as he doesn't think he's a big YouTuber, he is, as he put a bunch of money into it and now he has millions of subscribers. They just say anything. So this Patrick Bet-David is a salesman. He dresses in a suit, made all his money like in an insurance Amway thing where you're like an insurance salesman for him and then he takes your money and then if you sell some stuff, you get some money. I don't know. Anyways, he's one of those. I can tell what he's doing. They're reading the search volume analytics and deciding what to talk about. He's always talking about LGBTQ and they're turning our kids tranny and, you know, the general nonsense of the day. But I saw him on Joe Rogan and he was venturing off into talking about economics, both of those two dummies. And it's some conspiracy theory, George Soros, blah, blah, blah. So this was about how BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard, you know, all own, you know, like 80% of the, what statistic did he use? 88% of the S&P 500 is owned by one of those three firms or something. So he's talking about how these big management firms, you may have heard of BlackRock, Vanguard, maybe you heard of State Street, maybe not, own trillions and trillions of dollars worth of U.S. stocks. As if, well, to imply that there's this cabal controlling the economy. But this is how lazy these guys are, how stupid they are. And you would think that people like them that have money, that must have some money in the stock market, would have the vaguest idea of how it works. And maybe they do, which would be even more nefarious, where they're purposely just creating conspiracy theories out of what they know to be false basic facts. Vanguard and BlackRock and State Street don't own any stock at all. They're fiduciaries. They're just a pass-through platform for you to buy stock. They pool our money and buy fractional shares of stocks for all of us, in effect, so that you with $5,000 or $1,000 can have an investment portfolio indexed against the whole stock market or whatever. Let's just say the S&P 500. Well, the average price of stocks on the S&P 500, I don't know, it's probably several $100s. I mean, Apple alone is what, 2,000, 1,000, Amazon's 1,000. So you couldn't own one stock even of everything in S&P 500 unless you're investing, you know, I don't know, $1 million or something. Well, no, maybe like $250,000. So all that these things do, they don't own anything. You, like I have a Vanguard mutual fund. It's my money. I own it. They're just a fiduciary. A fiduciary is a legal term. It means someone other than you responsible for your money. So a lawyer, where they can't, you know, when you give an attorney privilege over your bank account or something, it's only to maybe pay medical bills and pay your rent. It's like you're not giving them full control of your money. And they get a felony if you do anything else with it. BlackRock doesn't own any stock. Well, they may, you know, people associated with BlackRock probably own their own stock. But BlackRock as an entity does not control those trillions of dollars. It's you. We could all wake up tomorrow and take every penny out of BlackRock. You could buy and sell and trade anything. They're just a platform to trade on. And they aggregate and pool our money. They accept receipt of dividends. And then you could set your dividends to pay to you or to reinvest. And they do some tax harvesting, tax loss harvesting, and some other stuff. And they get a fraction of a percent as a management fee. And this one thing just jumped out. But these guys talking and these women, Andrew, all of them. And it's on there's whole YouTube channels that are full of where they just comb the news or all around America and look for the police arresting a black person, and then they describe it in a certain kind of way. There's other channels that are fake teaching you investment advice. It's every demographic, every angle of society, or the internet, and right now, and this is relevant to me because I'm a YouTuber, YouTube is the greatest organized crime opportunity that's ever existed. Far bigger than bootlegging, drugs, narcotics, anything. You can say anything. It's almost all lies. Unless you're on a university's website or you're listening to, people that come out of an academic background and give a fuck to tell the truth. You're listening to salesmen and comedians teach you about the world. Now, Rogan wasn't that bad when he was just having people come on, but he's in a position of interesting people and exposing you to ideas. Well, he's now in a sort of a fiduciary position. He has a responsibility, a social duty, but no, he's not following it, nor none of these low-life celebrity scumbags who are in love with their own fame, to vet who comes on their show. I always talk bad about soft white underbelly. People say I'm hating, which is that's a term that Oakland pimps floated into the atmosphere. You shouldn't be using it. That's such a phrase to say, call somebody a hater. But you can't just let people come and say anything. They lie. You just let guests come on. This Patrick McDavid comes on there peddling economic conspiracy theories that aren't even, it's not like he took some facts and spun them. If you don't know that BlackRock and Vanguard don't own stocks and they're just something that buys them for you, you're he has to know that, which makes him really malevolent. He has to know that. This isn't college, okay? This isn't a replacement. Sitting around, hit your weed, and I'm going to learn about, you're not really learning about anything. It's entertainment. I have to tell my friends, my sophisticated college-educated friends, who dip and dab into watching nonsense on YouTube, and they laugh about it, and I have to remind them it's not funny. You're watching it as a joke because you know better. The people making it are making it as a joke, and the people watching it, many of them are not. Some of you get it, but many don't. Doesn't make you dumb. You're assuming that someone, that's why he dresses up in a suit. That's that salesman bullshit. White man in a suit, throwing around numbers and factoids. Well, he must understand it. He's rich. That's another thing. You think because someone has some money, they know everything about everything else. He knows how to be a great salesman. That don't mean he even understand. I'm just shocked at these guys promoting the idea. I couldn't believe that. Did BlackRock and Vanguard own stocks? I mean, the retardation of a lot of people. Don't be stupid. Don't be a Dunsky. He told Donnie Brasco. Don't be a Dunsky. So stop letting salesmen and celebrities educate you. They're miseducating you. Speaking of which, do you find these AI chatbots as awful as me? Let me leave you with this factoid. ChatGPT-4 is much less accurate in answering questions than ChatGPT 3.5. Went backwards for a variety of technical reasons and also because the internet's full of false information. And remember, these AIs they're not smart like Al Prophet's smart. They're not even smart like any human brain is smart. They're just doing massive pattern matching. So they can only give you answers based on what they were trained on. And they're trained on nonsense on the internet, a lot of it which is false. Just ask the pregnant black woman in Detroit who was arrested for armed robbery because the AI matched her face, and it was totally absurd. So Stop watching Patrick Bet-David. Stop watching Joe Rogan. Very irresponsible. And all of these people, Andrew Tate, they just say anything. But because a lot of you, I don't know, you feel like because you don't have an education, you want like a shortcut. That's where all that 9 productivity hacks, 7 ways to start your morning like a billionaire. Well, you can't start your morning like a billionaire unless you are one. So stop looking for shortcuts. These people are lying to you because they know you're the type of people that want a shortcut and you just want to be told, oh no, come over here, come in the VIP line. You don't have to do all that. Like the people that read Cliff's Notes. You know, when I went to school at U of M, premier institution, we saw any of our fellow students with a Cliff's Notes. Like, we were like, we had talked, we were like, oh, I saw such and such, he had a Cliff's Notes. And we were like, oh, he had Cliff's Notes. Life's not about angles. It's about real information. Our profit.